professors from CFTRI, we found that our culinary practices in the sense, the cooking practices in Indian context, what we are using it, are having a lot of differences. We need not to bother about whether the nutrient content is there in the cooked food or not. Of the Indian population, especially, are tasty people rather than the nutrient retention here. That's what, while cooking itself, we are dabadab adding either salt or sugar or whatever it is available in and around to our hand in the kitchen. Dabadab, just we are adding it. So without closing even the lids sometimes. Then our study found that vitamin A and some other vitamin C, during the cooking itself, we are losing more than 70% in our cooked food, more than 70% in our cooked foods. Because what we have done here was, we already selected 7 cooking practices. We have already beautiful kitchen here. If anybody wants to visit NIN, always welcome. And just you can share your experiences also. And we have done already the animal studies also on these cooked foods. The major part which I have seen here is vitamin A losses and carotenoid losses. This we need to restructure the studies, and we need to come up how to promote the bioavailability and retention of these vitamin A and vitamin C in the food substances. Then of course, though India is, again, we have 3 beautiful seasons. The country only India is having only 3 beautiful seasons. If you could see all the other countries like US, only one projection is winter and one projection is summer, like that it is there. But we have 3 beautiful seasons. But still, vitamin A deficiency is very rich in Indian context. Of course, zinc deficiency is also questionable here. And these are the populations again. I think no need to tell. Just for curiosity purpose, this is the Telangana data which I would like to project here. The chronic energy deficiency, as well as in men and women, as well as the overweight men and women, is also questionable here. You see the differences between NFHS 4 data and NFHS 5 data. Nutritional status children in India, Telangana also is showing much more when compared with the other populations. So the child mortality, this is the different states data. The mortality has been increased from NFHS 3 to 4. Of course, the recent 5 also is particularly projected that it has been little bit reduction has observed in NFHS 5 when compared to the 4. But the child mortality still is very high in West Bengal, even Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and some other important states also, Sikkim, I believe. Child mortality is also low. Of course, this slide again, I'm really worrying to talk about this slide, obesity, especially in men and women, how it is rising, the obesity among the all states you see. So Kerala, actually, when we are talking about the Kerala, of course, 100% literacy, and the people are very much aware of it, about the intake of foods and the other things. But you could see the Kerala, as well as the Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, the other important states are also very much prone in terms of development of men and women. Obesity rising cases has been seen. Of course, poor nutritional diets, this I don't want to talk. Okay. What is the reason at country level, and how we need to address? Anybody have any doubts, sir or madam? Am I clear right
No,
now?
no, yes, sir. No,
Yes,
no.
yes.
Sir, yes, sir.
It's clear, sir. It's clear.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, no, madam. My concern is, just you should not feel that this is kind of a talk. I want to have the interactive session. If
Sir,
It's very
if,
nice.
if it will be,
sir, just one small this thing, sir.
yeah.
Then how to cook the food without losing A and C?
Okay, madam. Just you note it down in the last completion of my this thing. We will discuss it now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just you note it down your doubt. Okay. Yeah, if it is in physical mode, actually, I would have to interact more. But of course, this is also good. Good. Okay. Then, actually, how the country need to come up with these activities, what we are discussing so far. The experts, the policymakers, and scientists, researchers recently, they had a meeting at New Delhi and decided that the country is particularly suffering with triple burden of diseases. When we categorize the people, their income source, their activities, what they are doing, in addition of that, the disorders which they are right now suffering at country level, these are the triple burden of diseases and nutritional challenges giving to the Indian population. Macronutrient malnutrition. Of course, macronutrient is again mentioned. The protein energy, PEM, it is called as PEM. The protein energy malnutrition is one of the severe problem at country level, which we need to address. That's what many foods, many the protein energy foods, protein energy drinks, and almost all something are coming. But in the at the same time, they are adding it some recipients to sustainable dairy products. That is also the other problem, to increase the overweight. Again, that is also problem. So again, this protein energy malnutrition, clinical protein energy and subclinical protein energy malnutrition, that we need not to bother. The important aspect that we need to discuss here is micronutrient deficiency diseases. What are the micronutrient deficiency? Again, we need to talk about only three: vitamin A, iron, iodine, and zinc. Of course, minerals and vitamins will come under these things. Micronutrient deficiency. Vitamin A, those supplementation programs are there at country level, and lot of available green leafy vegetables are there. Because why I'm talking always green leafy vegetables, of course majority of the population in India are vegetarians. Of course, even though non-vegetarian people are there, but to attend the non-vegetarian is either weekly once or twice or hardly thrice. That's what this vitamin A deficiency is more in Indian context, which leads to xerophthalmia, keratomalaysia, and sometimes bitter spots also, and iron deficiency, as well as iodine deficiency. Iodine salts are also has come up in the market, but still the usage of this iodine salts is still due to lack of the awareness at community. Zinc is one of the fantastic essential molecule. Of course, if it is accumulated in the human, of course some adverse effects are there. But when compared to the all micronutrients, majority of the enzymes, more than 100 of the enzymes and their oxidative activities in the human body or the living organism is depends on zinc functions only. And the diet related chronic diseases, again, type 2 is major one, and insulin resistance, hypertension, and cardiovascular diseases, as we are prone to this one. Okay, this is also just important slide. If you could give little attention here. What is the health status in India? This is also WHO reported. I have not changed here. The life expectancy is gone up to 71 years. This is recent data. This is actually this couple of years back data, this one. And the crude death rate is 7.3 per thousand population. Maternal mortality ratio here is 170. It has come down now just for 170 out of 100,000 live births. Infant mortality rate is 38 out of 1,000. Again, the under 5, as we have seen already. Children stunting rate 39%. Of course, in our previous slides, we have seen 36. It came down in Comprehensive National Nutrition Survey. You see here the projections. When compared to India, though the Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka are far behind in competing economy and the technology wise, their life expectancy is better than the India. That means though they are financially not much sound and giving competition to the India, they are maintaining little bit nutritional aspects and providing their population to maintain the good health. And what is the human resources in the medical field in India? As per the WHO norms, one doctor supposed to be attend only 1,000 people. But in India, 1,350 people are dependent on one doctor. This data is included with RMPs, PMPs, whatever MPs are there. But these projections, as per the WHO, only medical practitioners, that means MBBS population only. Here it was included RMPs, PMPs, Ayurvedas, homeopathy, everyone. Then you see how far we are not giving competition to maintain the health issues when the developed world. And one nurse service is supposed to be 300 people. Here it is almost quite double. One health worker supposed to be 230. Here also quite double. Okay, what are the shortfalls and what are the actions to be taken at community level to develop these kind of the doctor and the centric care communications? The major important thing here is the constitution itself mentioned that health is coming under the state subject. the central subject, one policy has been developed by the central government. Here, the policy, when it is introducing into the central level, the state government peoples, due to their habituated political barriers or whatever it may be, the few states are simply refusing that. Why should we follow? It has been developed by the party which is ruling at central level. This is main drawback, and led by people who do not have the knowledge and skills about health. And the Indian population, particularly on health, we don't have a long-term vision. Whenever the problem arises, on of sudden, just we will run to the hospital like anything. Here, the regulations are many, the policies are many, as I mentioned in the first statement itself. But the implementation plan at community level, along with medical fraternity and the state government, very poor implement regulations has been given by the central level. And the community mobilization is also almost nil in terms of the health. In India, community mobilization is almost nil in terms of health. Then actually, if we will propagate these kind of the actions to promote it at community level, more health insurance, more health insurances need to be taken care at community level. And that the other important thing is, we must have to facilitate and ensure the registration practices between the government as well as the private practitioners. The other important thing here is, need to improve efficiency within the system, how to develop and how to maintain the food intake as well as the health activities interrelation. And the leadership qualities should be strengthened. The shift from doctor centric care to a team based care is also one of the important aspect that it give result in terms of promoting the health. Public health relationship and community voice needs to be raised at the community level. Okay, then this chart is showing that the mortality proportional ratio of total deaths in all age groups among the community and non-communicable diseases. You see here, this is the communicable diseases comes under maternal, perinatal, and nutritional conditions. 37% of the deaths are occurring from communicable diseases. The non this black portion is entirely covering with the non-communicable diseases. And this chart, if you could see non-communicable diseases, of course it may be giving proper directions. I would like to give just little projections actually, what are the non-communicable diseases and how they are playing an important role in terms of the society influence. Everybody nowadays is worrying and the sensitizing it about the diabetic mellitus. We know that when the blood glucose level is shooting in our health, the person will be suffering with diabetic mellitus. The types of diabetic is three again here. Type 1 insulin dependent, type 2 non-insulin dependent, and the third one is gestational diabetic mellitus. Why particularly I'm talking about the gestational diabetic mellitus? If you could see world data here again, at global level, the gestational diabetic mothers are 14 out of 100 pregnant female. Global level I'm talking, 14 out of every 100 pregnant female. Coming to the India, 18 out of every 100 pregnant female. So the activities and the policies are many again, but the implementation capacity through the health system at communication at community level through the health workers and health system is very poor. So whatever the health systems and health policies we developed here in Indian context, including ICDS program, that is midday meal program, the same kind of the programs has been copied by the Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand governments just 15 to 20 years back. And they started to implement these kind of the programs to reduce the malnutrition issues and the non-communicable diseases. During 2 decades, the governments was succeeded completely, and they came back from the 37-40% of these non-communicable diseases and the malnutrition issues to now below 10, the single digit number. Now the malnutrition issues and the non-communicable diseases are there in the developed countries, including Asia, the countries which we are talking about, the Singapore, Thailand, and those things. If the mother is having gestational diabetic mellitus, the birth problem will be there, and the second problem is the child also, there is a chance to be have the diabetic mellitus too. So the fast facts on diabetes, if you could see, This is the again the US population percentage. This is our population percentage. So far, the data is actually long back I collected. Of course, this has come down now. It is also, I think, below 9%, if I am right, because they diagnostic practices
Yeah, this is,
and
sir.
the intake
Now it
practice.
is reached a high range, sir. It's a very old data.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm telling. That's what, sir, I'm telling. And you see, these are the causes and symptoms of the diabetic. As we know, genetic predisposition, pancreatic diseases, everything is interlinked here. And type 1, type 2, gestational diabetes, I think there is no need to talk about insulin dependent and insulin non dependent. What are the consequences if we will have? So this is recent data, sir. Diabetic prevalence, recent data in diabetic prevalence. If you could see in 2019, the prevalence of diabetic population in India is only 7%. By just during one decade, by 2019, it has been increased. Of course, 2% of the prevalence of diabetic in Indian population has been increased. The other important problem, and which the
This
community level
data
we are
is
not,
collected from where, sir?
this we have already the data, sir. It's from UNO as well as the WHO.
Okay, sir.
UNO and the WHO. I'll call you back, madam. I'll tell you. So we collected. And the coming to the cardiovascular diseases, it is also one of the leading cause of death globally, especially in India also. Every year, more than 18 million people are died during this CVD, just a couple of years back. This is also one of the important data. And when we are talking about again the cardiovascular diseases, the global data is telling that death rate at globally is only 232 out of 100,000 population. That means 1 lakh population, only 232 deaths are there in 1 lakh population at globally. But coming to the Indian population, our projections are showing that 272 people are dying out of 100,000 population in diabetic cases. You see here, this is also the death rates due to heart attack in India projections from 2012 to 2021. Recently, it has published in Economics Times. 2022, it has published in Economic Times. See here in 2012, these are the death cases. This is only recorded cases, sir. I am talking only about the recorded cases. So then the unavailable data, of course, many is there in terms of diabetes and heart diseases and kidney diseases. Everywhere, actually, the unpublished data and the unavailable data is also there. As far as the concern, the Economic Times has reported this one. The death rate in 2021 is close to 30,000. These are the types of heart diseases. Basically, rheumatic heart disease, coronary, cerebrovascular, peripheral, and congenital, deep vein thrombosis, and pulmonary embolism diseases. Sir. Of course, we are not medical doctors. If any medical doctor is there, they can able to understand this one. And you see, this is the projections again, sir. How the diabetic, cardiovascular diseases, and coronary heart diseases are increasing projections among India, China, and the economically world. In India, the CVD and CAD cases in 1990 was just 2.26 CVD and 1.18 CAD, coronary artery diseases. But coming to the 2020, the projections are almost double, more than double, I think. The CVD cases are more than double, even CAD cases are more than double. So the increasing percentage here is close to 120. At the same time, China, if you could see the projections and the economic world, the other world, China in 1990, the projections here of CVD and CAD are 2.57 and 0.76. Coming to 2020, you see the projections here. Of course, there has been a little bit increase, but when compared to the Indian progress, they are taking very much care in terms of maintaining the health, and the progress is very slow. The other important thing is tuberculosis, TB. Though after 75 years, you see, this is the country progress in terms of the tuberculosis. So the other countries are just giving 20% of the population of tuberculosis. India is again, we are standing at rank number one in terms of production of tuberculosis, 21%. One third of the world population has been infected with the TB, tuberculosis bacteria. This is easily curable disease, but still we don't know what could be the reason and why the population as well as the community level health workers are not taking much care, even cancer projections. By 2035, we are expected in men and women, the cancer, in the cancer as activities, we are expected in rank number 1 at global level. And these are the gaps, knowledge gaps, as well as the future directions, how to maintain, to come up with a particular policy to address these kind of the things. Okay, the one thing here again I would like to say is, everybody knows, sir, including you people, myself, everybody knows that these are the regions to increase the non-communicable diseases or health diseases, whatever it may be. But coming to address these kind of the activities, we are far behind and very lazy. High consumption of refined grain is most important activity here. High fat and salt consumption is also more, because few of the people in villages right now still they are using it salt quantity, they are adding it salt in the cooking rice. And dietary fiber foods are very low, the consumption of dietary fiber food is very low. Green leaf vegetables consumption is very low, though they are available at community level. Fruits and vegetables, of course, we can't say anything. Sugar consumption is more, as well as imbalanced diet, improper diet, lack of physical activities, and alcohol consumption. Smoking is also one of the important activity you see here. So the other reasons pertaining to the previous slide is urbanization. Everybody is looking towards to come to the cities. The deforestation is also one of the things which the complete life changes has been occurred. And the smoking, as I mentioned, hypertension prevalence due to the work stress and small things that they are unable to attain, how to address the small problems. Due to that one, diabetic. Cholesterol is also one of the important things, because at community level, now the palm oil, we should not supposed to mention the particular brand, but the few oils, of course, we can use to change, keep on when we are using it, the cooking oils. But one particular or two particular oils are having the trans fatty acid levels is more. When we are consuming, keep on regularly that kind of the oils, it may be shooting on the coronary arteries, blockages, and it is giving the directions in terms of hypertension and blocking the coronary arteries. This leads to the hypercholesterolemia, obesity, high fat intake, physical activities. You see, 2.5 billion years the human person was like that. During just 50 years, you see here, especially, of course, this can be applicable, especially in India. The person is unable to switch on the TV. He's unable to switch on the TV. This is the modern life, what we are expecting. And the country is facing a lot of nutritional challenges and the food securities. Again, coming to the classification, I would like to talk a little bit about the classification of foods. What are the foods which we are intaking are classified into two types, based on functions and the nutrients, based on functions and nutrients. So the foods which are classified based on functions are the vitamins and minerals comes under protective foods. The protective foods here means if you will attend proper recommended dietary allowances of the foods along with vitamins and minerals, it will protect your cellular activities, it will enhance your memory levels, it will involve the many metabolic activities in terms of the oxidation levels and promote your brain function as well as the muscle function also. Proteins, of course, they are building blocks which are taken through the diets only. They are supporting nutrients, macronutrients, which enhance your body life. Fats, of course, sufficient quantity of fat as well as the carbohydrates are also required to maintain the body metabolism. And these two are especially instant energy yielding foods. But we need to maintain the balance among these carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and vitamins. Again, based on the nutrient activity, of course, these foods comes under again these things. Macromolecules are again proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and micronutrients are again the vitamins and minerals. So many studies, including the NN studies, metabolic studies, CFTRI studies, and the global level studies are shown that yes, though we are standing in the rank number 2 in terms of production of green leaf vegetables next to China, its lower consumption is mainly due to ignorance of the health benefits conferred by the green leafy vegetables and fruits. This is the main reason what we are focusing, and we are giving always caution when we are going to the community level. We are telling them that just we are living in the urban city. You have the opportunities to have almost all the green leaf vegetables, even indigenous foods. I am working on indigenous foods projects, sir, actually. the national level. I found that my students collected many indigenous foods in terms of green leafies, fruits, vegetables, all these things, and we extrapolated the nutrition composition. Whether you believe it or not, the macronutrients and micronutrients are very enriched available in the indigenous foods when compared to the foods what we are taking in our daily life. The epidemiology studies, many studies are showing that the people who already attending the proper green leaf vegetables and the other things, they must have maintaining the good health, and they are far behind than the non-communicable diseases as well as the communicable diseases. As I mentioned, the Vimala et al., of course, I am also one of the authors in this paper. We reported that the beta carotenoid and the other oxidizing compounds like vitamin C, while cooking using the household practices, we are losing 5 to 78% of the essential molecules. Then how we can expect here the beta carotene, as I mentioned, the vitamin E supplementation is through the beta carotene here. As far as the Indian studies are showing that 8 molecule of beta carotene, if you will take through the food substances, is equal to 1 molecule of vitamin A. Okay, we will discuss in the later because I don't want to waste my time here. I will show the RDA there. We will discuss. Sir, this is also important project, important slide. According to the National Nutrition Monitoring Bureau report, which is part of the NIN here, the average household intake of foodstuffs as per the recommended dietary allowances from 1975 to 2012, if you could see, the cereal consumption has been increased. In 1975, of course, little bit now we are maintaining, still the progression intake of cereal is much more. The pulses is very less. If you see the green leafy vegetables consumption is now the recommended dietary allowances has given 100 grams of the green leafy vegetables to be taken, but only right now 40 only we are attending other vegetables and everything. Okay, you forget about the previous slide. When you are coming about to maintain the health activities, you see the nutrient intakes here from 75 to again 2012. The protein intake in 75 is more than recommended dietary allowance. Now you see in 2012 it came up to 83. Not only protein, calcium, iron you see in 1975 more than 100% the person is attending. Now only 48 it came down. Then why? What is the reason at community level? Why the lacuna has coming up at community level? Of course, vitamin A, thiamine, almost all other vitamins. And this is the recently published RDA, recommended dietary allowance by NIN, ICMR. If you could see an adult man or adult woman, the weight of 60 or 55, as per the recommended dietary allowances, the adult man, he's supposed to attend 200 and 700 kilocalories, 2700 kilocalories per day. But so far in India, the adult man is attending per day only 2000 kilocalories. This is the gap. Even adult women also. Rather than attending 2200 kilocalories, she is attending only 1700 kilocalories with lacking of close to 500 kilocalories. Not only the adult men and women, even pregnant, lactating mothers, the children age groups from 1 to 17 years also, there is huge kilocalories gap is there while attending as per the recommended dietary allowances. Then if this much of gap is there, how we can expect the health conditions are very good. Of course, this is also energy requirements. Again, I told you the same slide has been copied. And this is recent slide 2020, the ICMR NN recommended dietary allowance data. This is the national data. The cereals and millet, the recommended dietary allowances was 360 gram per day. Rather than that, the Indian population, of course, this is tribal data which I am showing here. You have to see here the 375 grams which we are attending. Pulses and legumes 120 was recommended, only 31 grams are taking. Green leafy vegetables 100 were recommended, 18 grams are taking. This is the percentage of intake of the green leafy vegetables. Other vegetables 200 recommended, only 46 grams. Not only except cereals, the every the things, pulses, green leafy vegetables, roots, milks, and everything is not meeting as per the recommended dietary allowances. This is the energy levels, how we are getting it from the intake food substances, you see, the cereals and millet itself, we are meeting more than 87% of the kilocalories in our body. You see here, I think you might have sensitizing here, only from cereals and millets. What about the pulses? Green leaf vegetables, you see, only 1.14% is the energy we are meeting. Then how we can expect the nutritional composition and the recommended dietary allowances as per the ingredients which we have compiled in our meat, sorry, in our meal, how we can expect, you see, only green leaf vegetables. Then how we can expect the vitamin A and carotenoids and the other vitamins and micronutrients, you see, the other nutrients, almost all. This is the only percentage which we are meeting the energy. Majority of the energy, the Indian population are getting it only from carbohydrates, only from carbohydrates. That's what the country is going to lead and standing in coming 5 years, rank number one in terms of the diabetic mellitus also. So this is in-depth slide again. So when compared to the previous slides, this is in-depth slide. If you could see here, the protein requirement for a healthy body is 54 gram. Rather than that, we are attaining only 46 grams. Energy, as I mentioned, of course, this is the level. The calcium recommended by NIN is 1000 milligrams. You see here, yeah, actually this one I have given in here brackets here. The calcium 1000 milligrams per day, but 350 only we are attaining. This is the percentage of calcium we are taking. Iron 19 milligrams, only 10 we are attaining. Vitamin A 1000 milligrams, my dear, only 200 we are attaining. When compared to the other general population, a little bit the tribal population, because they are living in the forest region. That's what this is. This could be a little bit better. Of course, the other one, the calcium in women also same, men and women data. Okay, then what are the future aspects that we need to take? What are the future aspects? I think everybody nowadays might have sensitized it about microgreens. Anybody here about microgreens? Microgreens. Of course, we know about the sprouts and the other, of course, nutrient bars or some chocolates. These things only we know, but we don't know much about the microgreens. So this is a kind of passion now. The restaurants and the developed countries are projecting the microgreens, even, but just for curiosity purpose. My concern here is, if I will look something new, I would like to touch something what is there, what exactly it is there. So as part of it, actually, it came the importance of these microgreens. 3 years back, it was published in the one local paper. They mentioned already about the importance of these microgreens. Just for curiosity purpose, what I was done was, actually I wrote a small proposal and sent it to the Agriculture Ministry, Government of India. By default, I got the funds. Then I had done one small project on the nutrition exploration of microgreens in my laboratory itself. We grown many studies. What they are telling is, if we will have attend microgreens in our daily life, we need to run far away from these non-communicable as well as the communicable diseases, which they are having almost all essential nutrients, macro and micro. As I mentioned, this is the thing they came, and she is my student, actually worked on these microgreens on her project. What we have done was, we grown the microgreens here. There are policies and the methods how to grow the microgreens. Even kitchen gardens also, even our balconies also, we can, even my house also, just 2-3 months, my home minister, she had practiced. Thereafter, already she left. Even myself also, due to the shortage of time, I was also not working it on that. But it was very nice. If anybody is interested, please. We prepared here. We have maintained the metabolic garden. Garden adjacent to the metabolic kitchen in NIN, and we prepared the recipes using these microgreens, and we analyzed the nutrition composition. We found excellent retention of almost all essential nutrients. These are the things we prepared here using these microgreens, and we are going to do one animal study also in terms of the retention. The other important thing which I would like to share with you is, I think mahua in Telugu it is called as ippapu. I think most of the people they know. This is the seasonal flower available in the deep forest areas. Especially the flower was being collected by the tribal population, and this is also available in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, and the other Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. Those people are also having collecting this one. So this Mahua, again, I told just for curiosity purpose, 4 5 years back when Divya Madam was the collector to Adilabad district, I went to attend one meeting there, and actually I discussed, Madam, can we come up with some sort of the recipe using mahua? Because the collected mahua by tribal people are using it for the preparation of alcohol after fermentation of 48 hours, and they are getting it the damage of kidneys on many other facts also. So then what I was done was I was collected the mahua and extrapolated the nutritional composition. I found that the calcium, iron, protein, and dietary fiber component was very high when compared to any other products. If you want, you can. I will give you the data. So the paper is already soon. It is coming. Then what I was done was I prepared one recipe in the form of laddu. This is the laddu, mahua laddu, called as. So far, only one unit is there in Telangana state, which is in Utnuru ITDA, and working under Utnuru ITDA. The Adivasi Mahilas are producing these mahua laddu. I trained them, and actually I gave the composition and the recipes how to prepare, what would be the benefits of these things. Now they are also empowering something in terms of the finance, and they are supplying wherever it wants. Here the official functions, the marriages in Hyderabad also, few people are giving orders to serve this one mahua. So after completion of the recipe preparation, actually I have undertaken one intervention study in Adilabad and Asifabad districts. In Adilabad and Asifabad districts, around 1500 from each district's tribal pregnant women were selected for this intervention study. And 6 months, we fed this mahua laddu and we checked the hemoglobin levels during 6 months. Primary level, mid level, and the end level baseline data we have compared. The increasing levels of hemoglobin in terms of transferrin and ferritin proteins has been observed very much favorable results. The people who consumed, the tribal pregnant woman who consumed this mahua recipe at community level has the health conditions and the hemoglobin levels has been increased like anything when compared to the control groups. This is the nutritional facts of the mahua recipe where we started. So based on this one, actually our honorable governor, Telangana honorable governor, one fine day she was invited myself and my director to discuss about this mahua, and she was already and nicely she listened what the studies which I was conducted. Now she adapted already many villages, especially the tribal villages, Telangana state, and we are taking one major study to improve the nutritional status of this tribal population using the mahua is the recipe for the intervention study. The study is under progress. So thank you very much to Honorable Governor. And what are the phytochemicals? The other these are the phenolic compounds. I think there is no need, carotenoids and others, which we need to maintain the progress. The other important slides, if you could see here, from 1975 to 2012. So this slide is showing the consumption of visible fats, grams per consumption unit per day, among rural population data as per NNMP surveys. You see here in the Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, by 2012, the visible fat consumption rate has been gone up like anything in almost all states. Almost all states. You see here in almost all states, Tamil Nadu especially, Kerala also, Karnataka also, and Gujarat. Just I am showing only 4 5 states data only. Of course, the remaining states are also showing the same kind of consumption of visible fats. Depends on the oils. Then what kind of the fats are there in the cooking oils or refined oils? Yes, we know that saturated fats and unsaturated fats. So these are the recommended consumptions. What are the health effects of saturated fats and unsaturated fats? Cholesterol levels, how it will be, and the community found what are the things that we need to found at community level, shelf life of these things. Of course, no need to do. Then if we will take these visible fat in terms of saturated oils and unsaturated fatty oils, which one will promote the bad cholesterol and which one will promote the good cholesterol? What are the consequences if bad cholesterol will be increasing, and what are the consequences and health benefits if the good cholesterol is increasing? So the definition only I would like to tell here: bad cholesterol or low density lipoprotein cholesterol is also type of lipid present in the blood and if present in large amounts can cause health problems as it tends to accumulate in the arteries and cause blockage. That means heart attack. In our word, in the common man language, it is called as heart attack. If your bad cholesterol level, that means LDL cholesterol level and lipoprotein level will be increasing while using the particular oils which are shown the trans fatty acid levels are more, the bad cholesterol component will be increasing, and your health problem, you are going to be attending a kind of the health problems, especially stroke. Rather than that, the saturated fatty acids will promote the good cholesterols, and these are the functions of bad cholesterol and good cholesterol. I think no need. So these are the oils you see now. The cooking again, which one is the monounsaturated fatty acids, good one, and the polyunsaturated fatty acids and saturated fatty acids. You see, these are the types of oils. That's what actually I should not supposed to mention. Which oil is good here? I'm showing the my slides only. You have to decide which oil you're supposed to take. So if monounsaturated fatty acids, this what is it? Violet color, I believe. This violet color is showing monounsaturated fatty acids percentage. It protects good cholesterol. That means HDL cholesterol will be protected. If you use these kind of the oils, the percentage will be more and reduce the risk of heart diseases. Then polyunsaturated fatty acids you see here, reduce levels of both good and bad cholesterol. Of course, this is good somehow, but along with reducing the bad cholesterol, sometimes it reduces the good cholesterol also. Oxidizes easily. That means it promotes your digestibility quality. That is the another benefit from the polyunsaturated fatty acids oil, and breaks down into potentially toxic substances during cooking. In your food substances, if you have any toxic substances are there, after adding this polyunsaturated fatty oils, it will help to break down such kind of the potentially toxic substances and helps to reduce their toxicity. The other one, saturated fatty acids, bad cholesterol levels will be increasing and the cardiovascular diseases risk also will be increased. And these are the monounsaturated fatty acids, polyunsaturated fatty acids, and saturated fatty acids percentages in different oils. Then I think there is no need here. What are the challenges in terms of women actually? No need. What are the challenges that we need to take and dilemmas? Challenge is to consider our strategy very carefully. What kind of the foods that we are eating in our regular diet. So that also include a quantitative evaluation which helps to reduce the nutrition burden and the gaps. These are the things that we need to consider as the challenge if we promote and if we will live long and to sustain something into the society. Not only based on prevalence of multifactorial diseases, of course, multifactorial diseases are not only relevant to the nutrition foods, there are other factors are also there. We need to troubleshoot such kind of the factors after recognizing what are the things that they are giving troubling to our health conditions and how to address these things. Of course, the affordability, diversification of food, home cooked based diets we need to attain majority of the times, and poverty, smoking, alcohol. Of course, we need to the 40 of course, the government is, as I mentioned, as a government servant we should not supposed to talk. Though country like the country like India, who don't have actually the supplementation programs, but we are promoting to eradicate all these kind of the problems. Of course, soon in one decade we are expecting all these problems may come down at community level. And the newts, this is also, I think there is no need this slide also. Just for curiosity purpose I'm saying how the government is giving priority to do the researches in nutrition activities. Especially this is the comparison slide between China, India and US. You see US 2000 to 2010 how they are progressing in terms of promoting the nutrition studies, and India just there is a slow progress has been initiated. Of course, China is next to US. They are also taking now the initiatives. These are the publications in terms of the nutrition research. Then what are the challenges? How the population as a responsible person we need to attend. Despite this positive trend, we have the burdens with an unfinished agenda of undernutrition and communicable diseases also, as we mentioned, communicable diseases also. along with the non-communicable diseases. Addressing this dual burden of over and undernutrition is critical to achieving improved health and sustainable economic growth throughout India, and nutrition research is key to effectively tackling these challenges at community level. The only challenge is we have to attend many surveys and many nutritional researches in terms of retentions or how to address these gaps at community level is more important that we need to address. Of course, the India's nutrition research output is disproportionately low when compared to, yeah, we have seen already the previously. Considering its large population and its huge dual nutritional challenges and public health concerns, we need to promote much research activities at community level, and these are the proper researches. In-depth research is needed to characterize better markers to come up to eradicate the micronutrient status, both in terms of metabolic effects and antioxidants, as well as the community level researches need to be. Large scale trials of different doses of micronutrients are required with precise outcome markers to optimize and control these kind of the diseases at patient care and in the community care. Of course, the other important thing is recently the interest has been increased in Indian population also to know something about what is nutrition and how to address these nutritional gaps. In terms that the bioaccessibility and bio studies of the microgreens and the green leaf vegetables and the organic foods are also giving directions how to promote while filling this address of the micronutrients like iron, calcium, and all those things. And information on the micronutrient and the bioavailability towards the health benefits from microgreens and green leafy vegetables and organic foods is still very scanty in Indian context when compared to the other nations. Of course, we need to enhance the biofortified foods and other things. Of course, this slide we developed in NIN, 5 keys for household safety. While before going to attend the meal, we need to mention this one. It is available in NIN website also. And these are the national priorities where the India is working. And as I mentioned already, actually I have been associating with the Honorable Governor Madam. We are working together to promote some community level studies to eradicate the malnutrition problems at these things. Thank you very much. The last but not least, actually this is, I will believe this one. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. This is not the correct. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. I think as a persons of citizen of India and the educated persons, my humble request to you all people who are attending in the today's talk is, whatever the way it is possible to give little bit sensitization society to eradicate these problems. We need not to spend even physically or financially any kind of the things, but the only thing is we need to give directions and educate them in terms of how to utilize the available sources in terms of eradicating these malnutrition problems. Thank you very much. Now the forum is open for questions. Hello, anybody is there?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Sunila from Usmania University College Government, Koti.
Ma'am.
Sir, this one question now. Urban people are running after superfoods like oats for breakfast. What do you suggest? What is the best food for breakfast for Indians?
Madam, oats is okay, suggestible, but their glycemic index is shown very high, madam. Glycemic index is shown very high. That is always, every day it is not recommendable. Per a week, you can attend only two meal from oats. Only 2 meal from oat among the 7 days of week.
How do you comment on usage of millets, sir?
Millets we must have to promote, madam. Actually, we need to promote millets because though again next to Ethiopia and some underdeveloped countries, the millet production is very much high from Indian context. But still, the usage is very less. The only one problem when we are using it, the millets is, of course, the GI is also, whereas here the GI is also more, but when compared to the cereals and other things, millets can be promoted, we can attend every day in a meal.
But some digestion issues.
That's what I am telling, madam. Digestion issues means when the person is suffering with any kind of the non-communicable disease, we need to reduce thrice in a week. That is advisable, madam. And when the digestion issues are there, just you ask them to take as in the form of any liquids rather than some kind of foods or something. Any liquid form is advisable to take millets, because millets, the dietary fiber component is also, of course, carbohydrate is more than 55%. Even then, the dietary fiber, protein, and the essential minerals also very high in millets, which they can promote the bioavailability of the essential nutrients.
Sir, one more question, sir. You said about different oils and showed MUFA content in it, and they reduce the risk of heart disease and diabetes, you said. So olive oil is the best according to you, you said, and
But affordability is also questionable. Olive oil, yeah, of course, that is good. But one thing is, as far as the NIN studies telling that we need to keep on oil usage. If one time when you're using it the olive oil, next time the other brand, next time some other brand, we need not to use the same kind of oil keep on the entire month or entire year. That is recommended.
your slide showed groundnut, sir. What about till sesame oil? How do you comment on?
Yeah, till is also good, man. Till is also good, but in our soil system, the heavy metal absorptions also have been observed in the tills and even the groundnut also. While preparing, we found some heavy metals, especially in Hyderabad based foods. Long back, 6-7 years back, I published a couple of papers on Hyderabad based foods. I found especially the arsenic content, madam. Arsenic is available in two forms: arsenic 5 and arsenic 3, ma'am. Among that, arsenic 3 is carcinogenic, which is very much relevant to the cancer, as per the American Cancer Society. So that's what till is also recommended, but monthly once is recommended.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Any more questions?
So what about the spicy?
Sorry.
Spicy food.
Spicy foods is always not recommendable, sir. Actually, Umaranji, spicy foods are not recommendable. Of course, for time being, if you will attend weekly once, or it is okay. But always we cannot supposed to attend spicy foods, no, sir.
Okay, so okay.
That is the main problem. But of course, we lost whatever the olden practices our grandparents was adopted. Now we are always ready to. Most of the people we are very happy to take the ready to eat foods. But in the ready to eat foods, the main problem is some preservatives was added. That is the main problem in terms. Very
Okay.
difficult to digestion as well as sustainability to maintain the health issues.
Sunita madam, I think you want to ask something.
Yeah, madam, please.